Hi Tanu,
Hi,
hope your life.
Vikas.
Hi Tanu, how are you?
I'm good, Vikas. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you. Finally, actually, we connected.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really great. It's really great. It's a pleasure for me to be connected with you here, and thank you so much, of course. And I just would like you to request to introduce yourself first.
Okay, so Vikas, I am live from Dallas, Texas right now, and I have a background in psychology. I'm a psychologist, and I'm also a trained and certified life coach from ICF. And I am more these days into coaching, and I coach people on various life issues, whether it be in their career or being their balance in life, and things like that. So yeah, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I have my own luxury line of furniture that takes a lot of my time. But yeah,
Oh, that's really wonderful. Thank you so much. And of course, guys, she's from psychology, psychologist. I am psychology counselor. We both belong to the same subject, psychology. So, of course, we are just going to discuss about a lot of topics. Especially, we'll focus more on mental disorders and psychology because when we hear the word psychology, it's always, the thought comes to our mind. Psychology means the study of mind and the study of the spirit. So, of course that is something like that. So, Tanu, we are just going to start this live session, and I have few questions to ask you, and the questions have been asked by many friends of mine through pages, websites, and Messenger, WhatsApp also. So, my first question is for you that why do people feel hesitated and they find themselves weird talking to any psychologist and therapist? What was the reason?
I think because there are many reasons involved in this, the many variables that one has to look in. A couple of variables which I can think of is that it is a cultural taboo also. There are some cultures where where people are considered as having some sort of serious disorder in the mind. That is why they're going to a psychologist or a counselor. And there are some places where people feel like in denial, like, when you go into denial that there's not anything wrong in me or in my surroundings, that is wrong somewhere in the other person. So we don't ever go ahead and take help from the counselor or a psychologist or a therapist or, for that matter, any sort of help externally, because we do not we go into denial mode. So yeah, those are one of the many or two of the many factors that play in largely for a person to become hesitant in reaching out for help.
Right. And somehow we also believe that talking to psychologist or consulting with any therapist, so it means that people generally people and society calls us that someone has gone mad. That is why they're just going to contact with therapist and psychologist. So it's kind of a myth, so people should understand it.
I think you know what, because this is coming from a long-standing decade, a long, like maybe 200, 300, years ago, when psychology wasn't developed. People didn't know the functioning of the mind. It was only restricted to psychiatry, where people were going into mental chambers and they were giving electric shocks, or something wrong was happening with them, mentally disordered and neurotically. So psychology is a field where we talk about emotions and mental thoughts which come across, has been growing the last few years. But the good point is, in the last 20 years that I've done my research on, is that last 20 years, the number of people who are becoming very comfortable in going and extending out for help are increasing. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign that people have. Now these days we even have, like, May is considered a mental health awareness month. So that's like a big leap from where we were to where we are now. We celebrate that it's okay to take detox and just declutter mentally to focus on life.
Right, and people should also understand the difference between psychiatrist and psychologist. Uh,
Right.
yeah, because a psychologist, I don't think so. They prefer any kind of medication, and they give medicines to, to take every day. So, people should understand it, and of course, that's really great if someone is finding himself getting stuck somewhere. So they should probably connect with any kind of therapist and psychologist. Now, I have a second question, Tanu. What is mental disorder means mental trauma, and how therapists helps them in it?
Mental trauma, I would say, is an elongated period of mental stress that a person has gone through. And the stress becomes so big and that a person is unable to cope up with that stress. And there are various ways as a human survivor we deal with it. We repress it, we go into denial, and we don't even know. And sometimes, and most importantly, if you see, especially people from the war zone, that when these guys go through a war phase, they have a post-traumatic stress disorder, which is after many months have passed by, they go, the body starts to reveal that trauma, that reveals that stress that what they've gone through, either through insomnia, either through mood swings, either through improper anger distribution in your daily life, mood swings that you go through. So, and also the lack of purpose to life that you start getting. That, oh my God, I've gone through so much, and now the brain is not able to assimilate. What did I go through? What did I feel? So then, yeah, I think that's where a mental trauma comes about. And we generally think something very disastrous only has to happen for us to go through a mental trauma. But the research shows that children also go through it when their emotional, physical, mental needs are not met by their caretakers for an elongated period of time. They go through stress and they go through mental trauma. And we ignore the signs. We generally do not know how to look out for those signs that we are going through all this.
Right. That's great. And the common disorders like depression and bipolar and unipolar, they are generally just common we find in people. So how does the psychologist or the therapist help them?
Because I just so strongly believe that no matter which part of that world you're living in, each one of us needs a counselor. Each one of us
I agree.
as a family, we need a counselor. Because as a family, also, we all are such different personalities all day living together. We need a sounding board, a person we can go and confide in and take solutions, because a psychologist or a counselor or a family therapist or a marriage therapist have done their study. They have done their study for many years. They have taken in many patients. They've gone through training. They understand the human mind. And one very important thing for people do not realize is that when I did my psychology study and when I did my training in my school, the first thing as a student I was taught by or told by my teachers was, if I don't work on myself, I can never help anybody else. So when you go out and you take help from a counselor, keep in mind they know the way they have gone through. They have made changes in their lives themselves to understand everything. They're not just being preachy out there. They have the emotional factor involved as well. So it's very, very important that every single person has that counselor or a sounding board with them.
Absolutely, you are right. As our teachers teach us in the class, so of course they give us knowledge, they give us explanation, description about the particular subject. And
Right.
counselor who has already mastery over reading the minds, and that person is of course master at it, their subject. So of course, psychiatrists or therapists, they play really a great role in one's
Important
life.
role.
Yeah. So I do understand. Now I have one the third interesting one question, because that question has been asked by many people. It happens that everyone has past, something bad, something good happen, we learn and we just move on. So my question is, what are the ways to forget our past, whatever happened, mishappenings and bad events and mental trauma, whatever. So what are the ways to forget those bad moments and to move on in present life to make a brighter future?
Firstly, because I think it's a very important question that you've asked. I completely stand for that question because there was one time I was doing a self help course, and my teacher really beautifully explained me something visually. So, he was on the stage and he started to pick up stuff in his two hands. So he picked up a purse of a lady, and then he picked up something else, and he picked up something else, picked up something else. And after like 2 minutes, he couldn't walk because he had so much in his hand, so much weight in his hand that he couldn't walk. And then he started to drop things one by one, and then he could walk. And then he explained it later that this is how we are under the burden of our past. And then there is a point in our life that we cannot walk forward. We are so stuck in our life that we stay there, heavy burdened, and there's no hope for the future. And we do not realize what we try to do is we build our stamina of picking up everything and moving forward instead of loosening out, letting go, and then move forward.
Then move
Now,
forward.
yeah, and then now what you said, forget about the past. I think I don't believe in that word at all. There is just no way I have ever been able to forget my past. I have always revisited my past, and I do meditation almost every single day. And I've realized that when I do my meditation and I'm in a calmer state, when I look back in my past, I'm able to make better sense. And when I make better sense, I ask myself a question: what is it that I can learn from it? What is it that I missed reading at that time? So I can build on my skills, so I can build on my mental capacities, so I can build on my maturity. And that, therefore, once I'm very equipped, I am actually able to move on into the future easily. Then I don't worry about, oh my God, that happened to me, or that person did that to me. So I don't worry about that anymore because I realize a person was going through their piece of their life, and at that moment they did what they thought was the best, and that doesn't represent me. Or what can I do? And even in the offices, so many times it happens that these days, especially like you see the pandemic going on, people are losing jobs. And it's very difficult to accept that, okay, I was laid off. I don't have money right now. But to gather the understanding that I'll make use of my time right now, what happened, happened. I take an understanding of that. Let me build on my skill at this current moment so that I can apply for better jobs, or when the market opens up, I have better skill level to go on to go on forward. So those kind of things really help you in letting go easily and effortlessly and moving on to the future with a brighter mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. I just really go along with your words. And when you said that we should revisit our past, so one line just comes to my mind, that make best out of best. So means if you think that your bad past is just like a vest, so you just revisit there and try to learn something new from it, and you just implement in your present in order to make a bright future. So of course, this is really nice. I think forget word, because the mind is totally stubborn. When you try to forget something, you always remember. So I
You
don't think
remember
so. Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I don't remember. I don't think so that something that can be forgotten totally from your past, because that was the part of your life. So just,
Right.
yeah, just try to learn something from it and just move on. And that's the meaning of life.
Right. Right. And I think that connects to your earlier questions about mental trauma. That connects to your other questions as well. When you've gone through something, I know there is a whole process of the healing period where a counselor or a psychologist or a trained person in that field can help you a lot to take those baby steps and move forward in your life. Because so many times moving on helps you, in the moving on process, it's important that you talk to somebody who with a sounding board. It's important to take baby steps, do your action planning about it, see what you really like to do with the time given. And there's a whole lot of customized action planning that a counselor can help you with, and it really really helps in letting go of your past trauma, moving on to the future with a brighter mindset.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Uh, Tanu, I have next question. The fourth question is, that's, of course, it's a bit different from the conversation that we have, but of course that is connected to human psychology, human behavior. And the question is how to handle mood swings. Mood swings generally are just mood gets off and gets on. When it gets off, then you don't feel like doing anything. When it gets on, so then you just feel like dancing, feel like just singing, moving
Right.
out, something like that. So how to handle mood swings between partners, live partners?
Life partners. Um, it's a very interesting question,
Yeah, it
Vikas,
is.
because and I do relationship coaching here in America, and I have seen almost 200-300 couples now in the past 1.5-2 years that I can talk about, and especially during the pandemic when people were staying home, I was getting all these calls from all the wives and husbands because too much proximity was happening. Nobody, there's no gap to live together 24/7 and you catering to each other's needs. There was a lot that were facing together. They're like, okay, we don't know how to do or deal with it. So I think what I've understood is through my own life journey and also from other people's journey and also coaching and counseling people is to understand what mood swing is also. To understand what is mood swing, first of all. Why do I believe or behave like that? For that to happen, I personally suggest a few steps to follow, which are number one, to give yourself every single day, हर दिन हर रोज आप दिन में 10 मिनट बैठे जाएं, but every 5 hours sit with yourself for 10 minutes, 5, 6 hours, sit with yourself. Do nothing, take a big glass of water, have some water, sit by yourself, stare at a wall, look at a tree, look outside the window, or play light music around. Let your body and mind sink in so that your trigger buttons, your instability buttons, are switched off for a while. Your body can recoup. And by science, it's been proven that if in a day, like after 4 hours or 5 hours, like generally what people suggest for people who are working in the offices is around 12 or 1 when you take your lunch break, take about 15 minutes off, go to your car and sleep, take a nap. Your body recoups, rejuvenates, and your mood swings are much lesser. That's been the one way. Do that every single day without failing. Morning, evening, or afternoon, 10-minute break, let your body sink in. Number second is to understand the trigger points. Why and what in the environment happens when I lose my cool. Maybe it is the word that my husband says. Maybe it is there is something that my wife does or the look that she gives me that kind of triggers a lot of emotions in me. Number third is to understand nobody has the power to make you feel good or to make you feel bad. What you're feeling in your mood swing is something related to you. You are feeling it, to own up to your emotions. Own up that I am feeling like that. Number fourth step is keep the communication up with your partner. Never disconnect. So number fourth is when you're going through that mood swing, do not shut off. Do not just say, okay, take a 20 second to 20-minute break. If you're very, very fueled up, take a walk, go out, breathe, but come back and tell your partner, you know what? I felt sad and angry when you did this. Always talk in terms of your emotions. Never say, never say, you did this, you're a bad person, you never understand. I have been telling you this 100 times. Why are you not listening? You don't care for me, you don't love me, I hate my life. Things like that really triggers a lot of bad stuff and bad memories and emotion in your partner. And then he cannot handle you or she cannot handle you. So talk in terms of your emotions. Go be vulnerable, that tell your wife or your husband, I really love you, I really care for you. But at that moment, when you said this, I felt very, very angry. I felt sad. And I just don't know how to handle myself at this moment. So I'm going to take a 20-minute break and I'm going to come back to you and we can talk much in depth about it. Number fifth step is taking self-care. Now, people for a long-standing belief have thought self-care means just going, taking a shower, putting up some deodorant, getting a haircut, and that's actually self-care. Or maybe for girls going to spas and beauticians and getting some makeup done or things like that. So I would consider taking self-care really strongly towards your emotions and your mental thought processes. What emotions are you feeling on daily life? And what, you asked me the question about depression also, that I was thinking mental trauma as well as depression and mood swings, all of them together, they're all emotions, there's a lot of emotional baggage involved in all this. So always take self-care emotionally. What can I do to make myself feel happy or pleasant or joyous? It could be hanging out with a friend, it could be talking to your family, it could be going out and playing your favorite sport, it could be just anything. Take time out and do that. Like for me, it is to do my meditation and to do my reading in the night and going out for a nature walk, doing cycling. So I do all of that on a routine basis. And then set boundaries. Number 6 is I cannot tell you that people miss on setting boundaries how much. I think you must be knowing it as a counselor. It is utterly important to set boundaries. They say that better fences, like if you make fences, you make better neighbors. And that is true even in a partnership. Never abuse another emotionally, physically, mentally. Do not torture them to death. So keep your boundaries, keep your words stable. Now, when your partner is having a mood swing and that person comes and lashes out at you, you can tell them, please do not talk to me like this. If you talk to me like this, I'm going to walk out of the room. And you're not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not throwing a fit on you. I'm just saying I'm going to walk out if you will talk like this. And I think we should take a 20-minute break. You do not have to go through abuse and you do not have to return the abuse. You do not have to go back to your partner and say, blah, 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 whatever you said to me back to you. So these are a few things if you will do in your daily life, you will have less mood swings. And also, because if you will take care of your needs, you will be in a better state to handle your partner's mood swing. For that to happen, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first so you can help the other person. And I think, again, your questions are great because they connect every time. They connect every time because when people go through emotional trauma, mood swings, depression, there's an underlying illness that, they're going through something. So when the partner is in a better state of mind, you're able to manage your partner or consult a counselor or a therapist and take your partner with your consult that, do you want to go? Let's go see. This has been happening for a long time and blah, blah, blah. That would really help.
Yeah, absolutely. You just explained beautifully, and I really agreed on it. And person's nature can be changed, and person's habit can be wrong, but that person can't be wrong at all.
Very
So
correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So of course you are total right, and I agree with that. Now,
And I think that leads to another point, Vikas, that is called detachment in love. Like you do
detachment.
not leave the person, you just detach with that trait that they are showing. So just detach with that and just love the person. I think that would really help.
Right, and those stuffs that you have spoken about, so I think that that will of course will help to those who are just suffering from depression. Now our next topic is just that depression we are going to talk about. So Tanu, what do you think about depression? Means you see that many people, including children, youngster, adult, they are just suffering from depression. What the hell depression means?
You must be knowing that more than me, Vikas, because
Yeah,
if
of
you
course I do, of course I do, but I'm just going to
yeah,
discuss on this topic with you, because I just want to get some more ideas about it, because depression has been
correct.
divided in unipolar and bipolar, right? So people generally just uh, change their mind. Sometimes they just unwillingly and willingly they start shouting at it. They feel like being alone. They don't feel like talking with others, with their family members, with friends. They sometimes misbehave. So exactly they don't know what is going what is happening with them, what is going on in their mind,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it happens. That's a common symptoms that we generally face and we find in others. So what's your suggestion about depression?
I would like to, like you said, add on to what you said. Like number one thing is to understand what depression is. Depression isn't just a mood swing. Depression isn't just throwing tantrums. Depression isn't just a day of sadness or a week of sadness because I had a breakup. So depression is not all of that. Depression is a long-standing emotion of stress where you feel a loss of interest, you feel a lack of motivation, you feel darkness and hopelessness in your life at major areas of your, like if you look at your day, like there are people when I talk to, when I have to people are going through depression, and naturally, in America, it's a psychiatrist who would help people in depression more than a counselor. But they have, we partner together. So the person goes to the psychiatrist as well as a counselor. So when they come to a counselor or, for therapy, when you ask them questions, you would feel that they genuinely feel that they are not lovable. There is no reason to life. There isn't anyone out there in the world who understands them. There is a deep seated hopelessness that they're going through. And that is why depression is not taken care of. It leads to suicide because a person is living in darkness, it's complete darkness. And they might appear a little bit normal because they are doing their daily activities as we do, but you would see a general feeling of sadness, like just complete sadness has taken over or a loss has taken over. So I think it's a very important thing that we now I was reading about an article which said that 20% of Americans are under depression, and which is
Number.
a big number in a country which is developed, which has almost everything. There is, even though, and in India as well, a lot
In
of people are
India,
going
yeah, in India as well. If we talk about India, so um, they hardly know about depression, but nowadays they know about depression. Generally, parents take their children and people to the psychiatrist and a counselor
through.
for those who are just suffering from depression. So it happens that you know. Uh, it has been cliche because the students who are just facing problems in academic performance, if they are just giving less
Mm.
performance in academics and they are not good
I
at
agree.
study, right? So they just start thinking that they are suffering from depression.
Hmm.
and their parents don't take that seriously. They think that my child, my ward is not good at study. Sometimes that
Hmm.
also happens. So in India is also going on, and India is also facing such kind of mental disorders, common mental disorders. And of course, the counselor and the therapist can play a great role in that
A
manner.
great role, I agree. A great role because we are trained to understand what is depression, what are the various causes, how does the symptom look like, and what does the treatment look like. Because if you're not trained, like for example, if a doctor is not like you go to an eye doctor and you say, okay, do a surgery on my heart, he cannot do it. He's
Not
not trained for it. So when we go out for friends and family, yes, they're there for support. They love us. They're there for our support, but they cannot help you to that extent as a counselor or a therapist can. So please do not feel hesitant to reaching out to people for help. You're just asking for help. It's just as simple as that. And trust me, I feel there are stages in our life, in our whole life, if you will say, like a person lives for 60 years, for example, each one of us go through a little or a big phase of depression where there is a lot of stress around us, whether financially, due to studies, as you said, or even there is a matter of, when women become mothers, they go through this entire new transition of life. Their body has shifted, their routine has shifted, they have a new baby to look after. There's a whole transition that happens, and sometimes it's not as smooth as for other women. So I think a lot of things, a lot of times, we go through all of these emotions that we can't handle or even understand our own self. So reaching out to a counselor is really, really helpful. I've reached out to a counselor myself for various reasons, even though I am a counselor myself, but still I reach out to other counselors for help because everything I can't understand my entire being and help myself through every situation, even the maximum amount of times I can, but I still need a sounding board. So I would really encourage people to do that.
या ऑफ कोर्स तनु यू आर राइट एंड काफी लोगों के मैसेजेस आते हैं पेजेस पे
Hmm.
और
Hmm.
मेल्स वगैरह भी आते हैं राइट सो जनरली दे से दैट sir, I am suffering from depression and I have been taking medicine also, but I'm not finding any kind of changes. So I really don't understand, I really don't get that why psychologists and therapists prescribe medication to them. I really don't understand.
Yes, it is a very important process. It is a very,
To
very important
to give
to
them
such medicine.
medicine. But I think psychiatrist or a kind of doctor who is having that kind of qualification, only that person is allowed to prescribe any kind of
So,
medicines. I don't
okay,
think so.
maybe I did not understand your question.
I mean
Uh,
that I mean that. Suppose you are a psychology counselor, so I don't think so that you can prescribe medicines to
no, I
anyone.
cannot.
Yeah,
No, I
even
cannot.
I cannot. Being a psychology
Right,
counselor, I can only be there for that person's guidance, but I can't
right.
think that I can prescribe any kind of medication. So I think that, and I request those who are just listening to us, kindly they should not prescribe any kind of uh,
Medications.
medication, right?
That's true. That's correct.
Yeah,
I
वो
think it's
medication
a
generally
law.
जो या
It's a
medicines
law.
होती हैं, yeah, that is
Exactly.
connected to their uh, sleeping
That's also
disorders, uh, uh, there are many mental disorders, so generally they just prescribe medicine. So I don't think so, and I don't urge at all for that portion.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think I heard your question incorrectly. So what I heard was that a psychiatrist can give you medicines and you should take it for sure as a prescription. But when a counselor cannot, I cannot prescribe you. I can help you in your journey thereafter.
Yeah, of course, of course. And we are just psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors. So we are here to just help them out. We are just distracted temporary, and we are here to guide them to put them again to their track. So I don't think so that the mental disorder is something really massive disease that will spoil their future or their life. I really don't think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Hmm.
So talking with therapists and consulting with any psychologist, talking with them, sharing your problem with them, I think that will really help you.
Oh,
So
it does
people should understand.
wonders. It does wonders. It has been a wonderful journey for me ever since I've had been going to counsel. I've gone to counsel for careers. I've gone to a career counselor. I've gone to so many different kind of counselors for help because they're trained, they're certified, they're there for us. So why shouldn't I take that service and make my life better
Better.
and go? Yeah, it's for my life. It's for betterment. And when you were talking about the prescription, it actually took me back to our question about the mood swing that there are so many times we are going through different hormonal changes that we have mood swings that we do not even understand why we are having it. So it's very important that you go and get your physical checkup done every 6 months or 1 year, howsoever, and take, the deficiencies of vitamin B, D, or your hemoglobin is low or things like that. So when you take extra health, extra nutrients, sleep better, eat, get a better, have your 8 hours, 9 hour of good rejuvenated sleep, sleep early, drink a lot of water, go in the sunshine, look at birds and flowers. All of these things will dramatically help you in your mood swings.
And people should also start reading books rather than watching movies, spending their most of time on
Yeah.
watching Netflix and this all, because when you read something that activates your mind vibration, you
Mm-hmm.
start imagining those things, right? You start
Right.
fancying those kind of moments and things that, and when you watch something, so of course you get some negativity, of course those kind
Right.
of things that will really
Of
affect your
course.
mind. So yeah, so people should start reading books, motivational books, self-help book, psychological thriller, which will give you some more ideas, right? Invent inventful ideas. So people should turn their attention towards it, right?
I
So
totally agree.
yeah, yeah,
I
of
agree.
course.
I agree. I think my journey happened with the self-help book I read for the first time, and I was like, "Oh my God, where was I living before this?" And this was by Louis L. Hay, "Heal Your Life."
Yeah, heal your
And
life.
oh my God, that book just opened my eyes to so many different things that I had never heard or never done anything like that before in my life. And I would really urge people, I wouldn't say that don't watch TV at all, but I would say balance. Again, this is what I do mostly as a life coach, is to have a holistic life, which means you work, your friends, your family, you do healthcare, you do watch TV, you entertain, you go zone out as well, but you read books, you do everything in your life. So you're never missing out.
Perfect, perfect. Tanu, thank you so much. It was really wonderful connecting with you and having discussing all the questions, and hopefully we have explained beautifully, especially from your side. I know that you're in Texas and it's early morning, and you had to wake up only for this live session. So sorry for this, and thank you so much for being with me. For our audience, that they are going to watch our video, and of course their doubts will be definitely clear by watching this video, because we have almost covered all the mental disorders and the psychologist's point of view.
Amazing. No, Vikas, the pleasure is all mine. And it's so nice to talk to you on these rounds because your questions were so amazing and you have nailed the question, because these are the kind of things that we need to talk about more in our daily life. The questions that you've asked about depression, about mood swings, about trauma, because we all have our family, one of our family members or we ourselves have gone through this stage. So thank you so much for taking the effort in creating this platform for this purpose to helping people. It's a great initiative. I strongly support it and being a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Tanu. And I'm just getting a lot of questions right now, but we don't have time that much, and definitely we'll try next time coming live on different social platforms, so where we can discuss about those mental disorder, and of course we'll be able to remove their doubts also, right, Tanu?
I'm
So
looking forward. Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Hope to see you again. Have a great day.
You too. You all have fun there. Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.